Hello there, my name is Valerie White Williams, and today I am talking about the Gemini Rising Ascendant. But before I start going into all the juicy details, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell so you get notified of all of my videos. And this is the place for me to explain astrology. So the rising sign is set when you are born. It is based on where the sun sets on the horizon when you were born. So if you were born straight overhead with the sun at that sign, it's going to set that wheel in motion. And so I personally think the rising sign is a bit more important as far as your personality than your sun sign, because some people's sun sign doesn't really show them off to what you really see, because there's so many things in astrology that can create a different focus. I'm not a huge fan of sun sign astrology. I think it's very simplified, and it's so simplified that it's kind of dumbed down, so people go, I'm not at all like my sun sign, because a lot of people aren't, because there's so many other factors in the chart. But for the rising sign, that's something that you can actually grab onto. The only problem is that you have to have a birth time to make that chart wheel. But the birth time is key for the chart anyway. So when you're a Gemini rising, so Gemini is mutable air, meaning that Geminis love to talk, they love to communicate, they love ideas, they love to express themselves. And so the Gemini rising is very much a talkative person. They don't have any problems usually talking to people. They're usually kind of high energy. They're usually a little bit more sprightly. They're not, I think a Taurus rising and they're a little more solid, a little stable. They might talk slow. But the Geminis, no. They're the ones that are probably going to get in trouble when they're in school, because they're going to talk to everybody when their homework was done. They're like, this person is a great student, but they talk after they're done with their teaching. But Geminis can talk to people. They're friendly. They don't have a problem meeting new people. They like to talk about ideas. They like to talk about things. They're usually also fairly active physically. They might be the kind of kid where you say, oh, this person is hyperactive. They cannot keep still. They have to always be moving. They always have to be doing things. Now, the thing about Gemini is that they typically, it's not like they're all going to be deep thinkers. Now, this is where it comes with the totality of the chart, because you could be a Gemini rising and you could come across as very friendly and, you can talk to everybody, but there might be some other more elements in the chart that could be, maybe you have, some other personal things that you're not going to share, or you might have interests, because really what the rising sign is, it's your container. It's your bottle. It's like you're having a bottle of beer and it has a fancy container. So really, it's what's inside the bottle that's really more interesting than the bottle shape. But it is your container, and it's also your ethical foundation, how you approach things. And it's often to be how you look. So Geminis tend to be a little bit more quicksilver. I think of Peter Pan as another analogy. They're like always busy and always doing things, and they're talking to people and gathering people together. And that's kind of their focus. And those people are, maybe they talk a lot. Maybe they like to, have a lot of friends, because Gemini is also associated with communication, your mental process, speaking, and also siblings and having those kind of relationships. So probably a lot of the Geminis know a lot of people. They know a lot of people. They have friends maybe locally all over the place. I am a Gemini too, but I'm not a Gemini rising. I have a lot of Geminis. So it kind of, I'm talking about a relative or something, but I'm not a Gemini rising. I have a lot of Gemini, but they are present in a very friendly manner, and they'll talk to anyone. because they just love to communicate, because that's what Gemini does. Gemini is mutable air. And so that mutable energy is breaking things down, shifting, sharing. It's kind of like the wind, sharing ideas. And so they're the perfect people to tell everybody about a party or create a press release or reach out to people. And so that's kind of how they present, because the rising sign is kind of how you present to the world. It's some people call it a mask. I don't know if I would call it a mask, because it's not like you're not the rising sign, but you present that way. You present that way. That's like your skin. There's more inside, but you present in that very easy to talk to, easy to connect with, and usually someone who moves around a lot. And that sets that wheel into place. Now, the only thing that we can make some generalizations with, because every chart wheel is different based on when you were born, where you were in the world, there's too many things, but safe to say that the Gemini, your ascendant, you also have the descendant, and the descendant is your partnerships, who you will partnership with. Now, it's not like you're gonna marry somebody who's like a Sagittarius. I think that's, again, it doesn't work that way. However, you might be attracted to in partnerships, whether they're relationship, marriage, working with other people, with people that have some Sagittarius in the 7th house. I know personally for me, and I am not a Gemini rising, I'm actually a Virgo cusp rising, that most of my partners and marriage partners and friends have had some Aries, because I'm on the cusp of Virgo and Libra. So most of the people that I've had partnerships with have had signs in Aries, which is in my 7th house. It's not like I'm gonna marry an Aries or something like that. But basically, so for Gemini, they are very well partnered with Sagittarius. Now, that's Sagittarius is mutable fire. So Geminis tend to be more, I don't want to say surface, I'm not saying they're shallow, but they tend to just be friendly. They're not doing deep thoughts. They're not like Scorpio. Maybe they have Scorpio somewhere in their chart. There might be a little more intensity. But the Sagittarius is more fired up. So Gemini can maybe talk about things, and then the Sagittarius is say, okay, we're gonna make this happen. Let's do it. So that makes that partnership, is Gemini has the ideas, Sagittarius has the fire to make it happen, right? Now, the thing about all the rising signs is that if there are other planets in that 1st house, then it's going to be a bit more modified, because any planets in that 1st house are going to affect the rising sign. So, like I said, what if we have, say, Saturn in Gemini, in that Gemini rising, then that person is probably going to be a bit more somber. They may be a Gemini and talk, but they're going to be a bit more serious, because that's what Saturn does. It brings that serious energy. And so they may not be like a typical Gemini rising, because they have that sense of responsibility, and they might be more serious. And say, for example, maybe if they have Mercury there in that 1st house, they might be even more energetic, even more, really hyperactive. And then say if they have the moon there, they're going to be a bit more of that, there might be some sensitivity. They might get their feelings hurt more. And so that might be a bit more, they might like to, be very verbal, because that's what Geminis are, but that moon will help maybe make them be a little more sensitive about not always sharing things, or keep being a little more protective, or just, that's how it can be. There's lots of combinations on the chart, but safe to say the Gemini rising is very friendly. They're almost like a puppy dog is going to go up to you. They like to talk about all kinds of things, and they can talk about anything. They may not be the deepest thinkers unless there's some other things in the chart that show that there's some more depth, but they're definitely friendly. and they're very easy at communication. They're gonna bring you in, they're like a friend. They're gonna be a good friend that will talk to you, or even an acquaintance, someone that's like, hey, hi, how's it going? See you later. And that's the Gemini, which is a beautiful gift because they are not afraid to talk to people. They're not afraid to make friends, and they enjoy bringing people together because that's a natural gift of Gemini. They can talk and they can reach out to people and they're not shy. So I hope this was helpful. There's just so many combinations. It's hard to generalize, and I really don't like the generalizations in astrology. So if you are a Gemini rising, let me know if this makes sense to you, or if you know other Gemini risings. I'd love to hear it in the comments. And I also want to let you know that I have 2 free passion projects on Facebook. The first one is called YouTube Success Strategies, and that's where I'm coaching people on how to make YouTube work for them. Because it breaks my heart when I see so many people that are putting so much time in their YouTube channel and they're just not getting very many views over many, many, many years. And I can help you with that because I built this channel starting in 2020, and that was my sample to help see how quickly I could grow a channel. And I've done it. I've done it. I'm going to be monetized by this summer. So I want to help coach people to help them grow their channels. And then I also have a group called Creative Soul Alignment, and that is my passion project for people that love spirituality and creativity, because we are all spiritual and we are all creative, whether you know it or not, because every day when you make a choice between one thing or another, you're creating your life. All right, take care and I'll see you next time. Bye.